Hey, it's Aaron from AaronOnAutos.com, and today's review is brought to you by the Gary Sinise Foundation. Click the link below and donate.
Hey, it's Aaron, and today we're with a 2022 Chevrolet Silverado ZR2 edition. The ZR2, this is the 1500 package, so it's the half ton. The ZR2 is their serious off-road package. This is made to compete with Ford Raptor, Ram TRX, vehicles like that. It falls just short of both of those in some ways and outdoes both of them in other ways. We'll get to all of that, but first, we gotta go get this thing dirty. Alright, I told you I was going to get it dirty. So this is the 2022 Chevy Silverado 1500 ZR2. The ZR2 is a new off-road package for the Silverado this year. And you'll see it next year on the smaller Colorado if you're looking for the smaller truck version of this. This package adds a bunch of stuff. It's the third from the top in the lineup. So before this you have the LT something, and then you have this one, and then you have the LTZ, and then you have the High Country. So it's not the most luxurious in the lineup, but it is high up in the trim packages. My full review, I think, is just I like trucks. Actually, I really just like off-roading. This is a great off-road package for the price you're paying. So to start with, up front here, what you're seeing, you see the toe pins, you see the changes in this bumper here, adds a little more approach angle. And then under the hood is a 6.2 liter V8, 420 horsepower. That is the only option for this truck. So you can only get that 6.2, which is a great engine, very powerful engine. You might recognize that engine if you saw my review of the 3/4 ton, the Silverado 2500. Had that engine in it. Also 10-speed automatic transmission, full 4-wheel drive of course, but it's not full time, so you can turn it on and off, which is very cool. And then a few other additions. I'll walk you around and show you some of them. Those big 33-inch tires are a dead giveaway, but there's a couple other things happening too. You'll see the suspension is lifted and a few things. Let's check it out. So from the side here, you can see the profile, you can see the design of the truck. Very good looking truck. It looks like most of the others, with a few exceptions because of the add-ons for the ZR2 package. So it's still a capable half-ton truck. Can still do all the usual stuff, the towing, the hauling, etc. This is a short bed. And now that I'm talking at the camera, the wind picks up. When I was doing stuff earlier, no wind. Yeah, that's just how it is, isn't it? Anyway, what we're looking at here is those 33-inch tires I was talking about. These are Goodyear Wranglers. Underneath you'll see some suspension lift. So the lift isn't as much as it looks. Most of it is because it's just slightly different on the way it looks and the size of the tires in there. But there is an off-road damper system, forward and rear locking differentials, which is very important, and heavier springs, a few other things like that. Underneath there are more skid plates. So the skid plate in the front, you can kind of see that probably, maybe. Then there's a couple of them underneath to protect the transmission and so on, and then a big one on the back end. So for off-road, I took this down a hill over there, where I have taken a lot of vehicles that have the name like Rubicon on them. I took the little Colorado in the Bison package, so that was the off-road package with the Bison down that same hill. So you may remember video of that. And I'll show you what I did with this. And then on that hill and on another much smaller one, I did some just to test articulation and feel grip because they are supposed to be off-road tires and this is supposed to be off-road tuned. That last little hill, the smaller one, a vehicle that doesn't have that will lose grip fairly often going up that little bitty incline. And so it's a good test for that. This did beautifully. It was on par with most of the other serious off-road vehicles I've taken up that. The other hill, it had a little bit of a hard time. I had to go very, very slow, which I usually do anyway, because it's a very steep hill, and it has a lot of changes. The rocks are huge, so you're having to go over and around them. You have to have a good amount of clearance to be able to pull that off. Your breakover has to be very good. This one managed to do it without scraping bottom, but I feel like it was very close because I was bottoming out the suspension as I was hitting each point, which is not unusual, but I will say that one of the lighter weight Jeeps, like a Wrangler Rubicon, doesn't do that going down that hill. But it does do it in, say, a big power wagon. And the Ford Raptor, when it went down that hill, also had the same issue. It was hitting a lot, bottoming out that suspension. But the Raptor had no problem at all going up it. This wouldn't even try. I was afraid to. I pulled it up and looked at it, and I was going to have to scrape the front bumper and skid plate just to get over the first of those, which means that when I got in the middle, I would have been smashing into them because they're 2 or 3 inches higher up there. So this would not have made it, so I didn't even try. Wasn't worth beating up the truck. But so in comparison, the Raptor, yes, it's a much better off-road vehicle than this. The Ram TRX is faster and more powerful, and probably in some instances better off-road, but not most of the time. And that's simply because with power comes great responsibility. Haha. Sorry, Peter's uncle. But really, what it is that truck is just too heavy. So it doesn't have the kind of clearances and articulation that you need to pull some of this stuff off. This truck is a pretty good middle ground, especially for the price tag. So all told, the way it's outfitted with a bunch of extras, I'll show you Monroney a little later, this is about $72,000. You cannot get an equivalent Raptor for that, and you definitely can't even look at a TRX for that. So as far as middle ground goes with a lot of capability, this is great. This is a good setup. The kids and I also had a whole lot of fun blasting through a bunch of mud puddles. You've probably seen a couple of those clips by now, and I'll just show you more of them because holy crap was it fun. So that's all 3 of my kids in the truck. You may or may not be able to see all of them on the camera. I didn't see what the GoPro could see. I just set it up and hit record. But tons of fun. That was a good time. That's why I'm wearing this thing that looks like a watch. Actually, it's the GoPro controller. But anyway, great truck for that. Now, in everyday truck use, still capable of doing all that stuff. Same tow rating as the other one. I'm not going to go and do the usual walk around because really I just want to talk about what this ZR2 adds to the Silverado. So I'm not going to talk about, you know, towing capacities and what it felt like because I'm not going to tow with this. Fuel economy is not great, but it's not terrible. It's far better than the TRX, of course, but that's a 700 and some odd horsepower beast with a huge supercharged V8. Not quite as good in this as it is in the Raptor, but the Raptor, of course, is a turbocharged 6. It is not an 8-cylinder engine like this. But I will say that 8-cylinder engine is nice and smooth. The power delivery is highly predictable, which is great when you're off-road. You want to know when the power's coming and how long it's going to take to come or go or whatever you're doing. And turbos make that a little difficult sometimes, so it's a good thing. But overall, very impressed with this package. I think if you're looking for a pickup truck that is off-road ready and focused, but not so much so that it, 1, requires a 3rd mortgage, and 2, is just overboard, right? Just way too much, can't do regular truck stuff because of, then this is a very good option. And for the price tag, I think you're getting a pretty good setup and a good deal. $72,000 sounds like a lot of money, but in today's market, that's actually not that bad, considering how many added goodies are on this thing. These guards and other things are all part of the package, and you can add a few other things. That bed cover is an ad. There's a couple other things like that, but overall, very much worth that price tag. Again, let's look at the Monroney. I'll tell you what's on there. I guess it was closer to $73,000. But if you look at the package here, it's $65,000 as is without the add-ons. The add-ons are fairly expensive. Those high clearance steps that are over there, those are $1,000. I would pay for that. I think they're fully worth that. Technology package is nice. I do like the rear camera mirrors. I do like the head-up display a lot. Adaptive cruise is always a good thing to have. And the power tilt and telescope, I could do without that. I'd be fine without it, but it's part of that package. The tonneau cover is $1,100. I think that's a little expensive, although I do really like that cover. It's a very good cover. It's nicely done, but if you don't need a cover, there's $1,100 you didn't have to spend. I wouldn't buy the sunroof either. $1,000, don't need it. Multiflex tailgate. If you're going to use this as a working truck, if you're going to haul stuff in this truck, you're going to want that. It sounds like a gimmick until you actually use it. Then it's awesome. The paint color, $395 Glacier Blue Metallic. I think that's a good color. But, you know, there's a lot of good colors in the lineup. Go check them out. And then there's a credit because they didn't include the heated steering wheel that's supposed to be part of the package. So you can see 3.23 on the rear axle. 18-inch gloss black wheels are included. Rear parking assist is included. Total options came out to put it at $71,000, and then you have another delivery fee of $1,700. So the fuel economy is rated at 17 on the highway. I did not test fuel economy. Main reason for that is when you own something like this, you probably don't care that much. That's not really high on your list. If it is high on your list, you really shouldn't be looking at an off-road vehicle. You should be looking at the vehicle you're going to tow that off-road vehicle with. So anyway, that's it. That's what I got. This is the 2022 Chevrolet Silverado ZR2. It's brand new this year, and it's really awesome. This has been Aaron, and I like trucks.
Subscribe.